Balancing security investment decisions with an organization's business priorities is a constant challenge, especially for public and private sector leaders. And important to those discussions is understanding not only the latest threats, but also how security tools are changing to improve security and the user's experience. I'm Wyatt Kesh with Scoop News Group, and joining me today to talk about some security trends on the horizon is John Maddison, Executive Vice President of Products and Chief Marketing Officer at Fortinet. John, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Wyatt.
I'd like to start by asking, how does Fortinet see the security industry adapting to cyber trends over the next 3 to 5 years?
Well, I think there's three things that affect the way you put cybersecurity into your infrastructure. One is the infrastructure itself, which is changing. And so people have more cloud applications. These days, people have more devices. People are working from anywhere, maybe back in the office a bit more these days. And so the way your infrastructure is changing changes the way you need to deploy security. Then there's security itself, the cybersecurity, where you've gone from this protection mode to detection to response to automation. And so there's a lot of different tools that need to be put in place. There's a bit of a hint, I would say, of regulatory compliance that needs to be put in there. But these three dynamics really structure the way you need to put security into your operations going forward.
I appreciate the way you frame that. And then next, I'd like to ask, increasingly the enterprise network environment encompasses distributed workforces, hybrid networks, and edge devices as well. What can organizations do to try to reduce the overall risk posture given that?
Yeah, well, as I said, I think what's happened is that the infrastructure now is spread across everywhere because of all these devices and work from anywhere. And so what needs to happen, what it's created is more edges. So traditionally, if you go back maybe 5 or 6 years ago, you had this singular edge, maybe at the data center. Some people also refer to endpoints as an edge, but now the edges are everywhere. They're sitting at your building, at your home, at your factory, in your data center, in the cloud, in a SaaS. And so you need to really protect these edges. Now, if you kind of build a network out and say, these are these edges, and then we go and place secure on each piece, it's going to be very complex and very costly. And so what you need to do as you build your network out, you need to build using secure networking technology so that as soon as you build an edge, it's already secure. And this is going to be the best way to implement security across your network, because what customers are looking for is to make sure that digital experience is very high for their customers, for their employees, for the contractors, for the supply chain, but also secure.
Makes a lot of sense. And of course, there's been a growing number of security products and solutions available on the market today, particularly as enterprises expand into the cloud. What is Fortinet doing to reduce the complexity of some of these tools and really also provide a more positive user experience?
It's getting way too complex. I've spoken to some customers who have 60 different security tools from different vendors, doing different functions. It's just too complex to get working. And so what customers are doing, what they're saying is, rather than try and have a point solution for everything and get it working themselves, why don't I choose a platform approach? So I choose maybe 7 or 8 vendors who have platforms, who have multiple functions, and then get those things to work better together. Get them to be able to exchange threat intelligence, exchange policy, and then build automation. And I think there's a lot of, I would say, cybersecurity companies out there are kind of a feature. I call them feature as a company. And really, they should be just part of a platform. And I think customers and enterprises are getting to the point now where they can't keep adding more and more point solutions. They want to go to a platform, a consolidation of vendors and functionality.
And then lastly, one of the other critical elements of this is training the security workforce and users on today's networks. Fortinet, I know, has invested significantly over the years in cybersecurity awareness training. Can you talk a little bit about what's the latest from Fortinet in terms of helping address the cybersecurity skills gap for their customers and partners?
Yeah, this is a huge area, and a lot of enterprises and customers ask me, well, what should I invest in first? And it's not technology, it's training the people. And so the IT awareness and education tool that we have helps people get trained on what not to do a lot of the times inside an enterprise. We've also made that program available to kids in the US. We've committed to training 8 million kids in the US. And so that's the first step. Now, after that, a more technical set of programs, our Network Security Expert, allows you to have different levels of technical expertise in cybersecurity. And what we've found is that over the years, the specializations are really important. So if I want to specialize in a certain area of cybersecurity, and our revised program, our NSC program, allows you to do just that. Let me just focus on secure SD-WAN or zero trust or SOC implementations. All our training to our partners is free. We made it free to our customers during COVID. We're going to continue that. So a really, really big investment in training as we go forward.
Sounds like a very important initiative, and appreciate you taking time to mention that. John Maddison, thank you again for joining us today, sharing some of your insights on improving cybersecurity posture, particularly for federal government customers.
Thanks, Wyatt.